Hello fellow riders, it is the day before Christmas, known to most as Christmas Eve. I got a whole week off work here coming up, so I want to try to get a lot done. So I'm probably going to be shooting several videos here over the next several days, which means I'll have a lot of footage, a lot of editing to do. So you probably actually aren't going to see this video and following videos until after sometime Christmas, but I'm going to go ahead and wish everyone a Merry Christmas anyway. Oh boy, I got lots of stuff to do. We got some work here on the X4 I want to kind of get done here. We're still working on the Articat, which I have another video of it ready to go. We had little problems here, which you'll see coming up, but she's still in here. You can kind of see we had to take some stuff back apart, but again, that's going to be explained in a video coming up if it's not out before the time I get this video up. But we're going to have to make some room in here. I still got a mess, because like I said, I got other things going on there. Like, I still got to replace a throttle cable on the X4. I want to get one of my sheaves installed, so we have some time running it to tell a difference. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do the JBS or the HunterWorks first. We'll see. I may end up going with the JBS first because I know it runs grease, where the HunterWorks runs greaseless. So if we run the JBS first, we won't have to worry about cleaning all that grease up, just to have to re-grease everything when we switch to the JBS. But again, I don't know, you guys comment below what you want to see me run first, the HunterWorks or JBS. We are going to run them both, so it really doesn't matter. The first thing I want to do, and what we're going to do in this video though, is before we get a big dump of snow, as you can see it's actually melting. We're supposed to have near or 50-degree temperatures tomorrow for Christmas, which I'm not going to complain about that at all. But I want to get this Warrior up into the hillbilly garage before we get a ton of snow. We need to adjust the valves in it, and hopefully get to go for a little rip before this snow does fly. I did do a little bit of riding, as you can see, with the amount of mud that's covered in it. But you know me, probably not going to pressure wash this. We're just going to take her up and adjust the valves real quick. Maybe go for a little rip today. Before I do anything though, I need to make some room in the hillbilly garage. Move the machines out that I can move out. Maybe slide the Articat forward and turn it sideways so I can get the Warrior in there. So that's the plan for the day. Mighty Mouse is just such a beast. I love it. The X4 is no slouch either, just too much in stock form right now to be considered a beast. But it's time to bring up the biggest beast the family owns right now to get it out of the way. Well, that was the easy part of the maneuvering and the clearing out. Now we gotta get this big behemoth out of the way somewhere. Alright, I think that gives us plenty of room. Well, maybe not plenty of room, but I think that'll give us at least enough room to get the Warrior in here. If my battery's not dead. My tire's a bit low. It'll be good enough for getting up there. So the question is our battery going to be good enough to get the girl started? There's neutral, let's see. Hasn't been started in a while. Choke is on, fuel. Yes. enough room for her. Well, a little bit tight quarters in here. Pretty much can't walk around up there, but we got her in here good enough we can get at her. So in order to check the valves, we got to get into the valves. So we're gonna have to take the plastics off the front, take the gas tank off, I'm sure, and that should be it. We shouldn't have to strip her down anymore. There should be, you can kind of see here, here's, ooh, the exhaust got hot. The exhaust valve cap we can take off to get to those, and the intake one here is the one we got to take the tank off of because it's back in there and the gas tank's in the way. Before I forget, let's go ahead and shut this off so we don't lose a bunch of fuel. Alright, so we got everything off we need to get off here, and as you can see, here's where we need to go in to check our valve on the exhaust, or on the intake side, excuse me, because it's on the same side as the carburetor. Well, I'm not liking how this is a new boot and it's already cracking. Look at that. That is not good. I think they make metal ones of these. We may end up replacing that, but anyway. And the exhaust one's on this side here. It's going to be a little trickier to get at, but it shouldn't be too bad. I do have, and I don't like how I'm seeing this oil seep here. If you guys remember back when we first worked on this, we replaced the seal in here because it was seeping, but it still looks like we're seeping somewhere else, and it may actually be out of these valve adjuster caps. I'm not sure. Probably maybe come next year, next fall, after we get some riding in this, we'll probably end up tearing this down and doing a top end rebuild. At least check things out, replace our gaskets, our head gasket and stuff, because it probably needs it. Although the guy that I traded the snowmobile for said this had just been rebuilt. He said a lot of things that were not true, and the rest of the hack job I saw in this, we're just not going to assume that any work whatsoever was done. He just said that so I'd make the trade. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to take these caps off, which are Allen's. Hopefully they'll come out. If not, they do at least have the grooved bolt on here you can get on with pliers. But we'll cross our fingers to say them Allen's will come out. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3 on there. And this just has 2 bolts on this one, so I bet you these 2 have been replaced. So maybe there has been a little work done in this, I don't know. Alright, since we can get at the exhaust valve a lot easier, we'll go ahead and do that. 2 10mm bolts here, at least that's what's on this. I don't know if originally these came with the same Allen heads that the exhaust side does, but what's on the intake right now are 10mm bolts. Yours may vary. If you have one of these guys and yours isn't the same, you can let me know. I'm interested to see if there's actually any seals, rubber seals in here. That might be why we're seeping oil. We just have to use a little gasket maker of our own for time being. Yeah, it's got the rubber seals, but they're not in the best of shape, and that's definitely where oil was seeping through. We'll clean that up a little bit and hopefully be better off. Before we adjust though, I forgot to find and make sure we were at top dead center. So I'm gonna take a break here and I'll show you guys how to do that. Alright, so before we go to check our valves, we need to make sure we're at top dead center on the compression stroke. So in order to do that, I'm going to pull this little sight gauge off, or sight plug. That'll show us our marks there on our crank. That will show us when we're at top dead center. And we'll keep turning those till we're on the compression stroke. And you can tell you're on the compression stroke if you go ahead and take your valve caps off and you listen. You'll be able to, and watch these, you'll be able to see on the intake stroke, this valve will push down and open. And then when it closes, the next time you get to top dead center, that'll be a compression stroke. Then if you keep going another full turn, you'll see the exhaust valve open and close. So that's a quick way you can make sure you're at top dead center on the compression stroke. Watch your valves. One turn will open and close the intake valve. The next turn around will be on your compression stroke. And then the third one after that will be on your exhaust stroke. So So we're gonna go ahead and do that here. I'm gonna take this plug off, and I'm probably gonna go ahead and take this cover off too, so I can get in there with a wrench and turn this by hand. It'll be a lot easier to turn. All right, so we'll pop these. What are there? 4 Allens. Hopefully they'll come out easy. Whew, not too bad. I had a little scared there. All right, that one came. All right, not too bad. All right. All right, now I can get on here with the wrench and turn the crank by hand. All right, guys, so now we have our sight port open here, so we'll be able to see our little hash marks. We got our intake valve exposed. We got our exhaust valve exposed. So we had one of these little Allen strip, but I'm going to go ahead and replace all of them with actual bolts because I hate Allens and that's how I am. But now you can see how we find top dead center on the compression. As we turn this guy down here, you can see our mark. Let's see if we can find a top dead center mark. But there's a lot of tension here, so I'm taking it, we're on our compression stroke right now. But right there, you can kind of see that line with the T. It's not going to focus in on it real well, guys, but it's there. And it's right beside a mark with an F. But right there is top dead center. Now, the trick is for doing a valve adjustment, you want to be top dead center on the compression stroke. So in order to do that, you have to turn the crank while watching your valves. So let's see here, let's watch our exhaust valve. We're watching our exhaust valve. Okay, there, you see our exhaust valve starting to open. There it goes. So there's our exhaust valve opening. Now we gotta come over here and watch our intake valve. You see the intake valve's opening? So there's 2. And now the next time we get around to our T, that should be top dead center of the compression stroke. And you'll feel it in the crank as you turn it by hand. Boom, right there, top dead center of the compression stroke. So now that we're there, when you guys are on top dead center of your compression stroke, we need to go just a bit more. There should be a little bit of free play in your valves. You see that? It should be very minimal. I got a little bit of play in it. Actually, that's probably more than I'm supposed to have, so that's telling me I probably do need to adjust our valves, which explains the ticking. Let's check our exhaust here. Yep, you see there's no tension on that whatsoever. So that means we're at top dead center on our compression valve. And that's where you guys want to be when you're doing a valve adjustment. It doesn't matter what machine you're doing, top dead center on your compression valves, and there should be no pressure on your valves. We need to look here in my service manual to see what our valve clearance is actually supposed to be. Now if you guys don't have a service manual, just do a quick Google search online. You'll be able to find valve clearance for whatever machine you're adjusting the valves on. But here for this 2000 Warrior 350, we see here valve clearance intake 0.06 to 0.1, and the exhaust is 0.16 to 0.2. What you guys need to adjust or to check your valve clearance is one of these feeler gauges, which you can pick up at most hardwares. Any auto parts store is going to have those. And I know it's going to be hard for you guys to see here in detail because it's dark and I can't get in real close. But where our rocker arm stud actually pushes down on our valve, we should be able to slide this guy in there freely, which we can. But there should be a little more resistance, I think, than what I'm feeling here. So what I'm going to do is go to the top of the spectrum, which is 0.176. 0.102 is the closest I have. So this one now should not be able to fit in there. And if it does, then we need to adjust it. And it fits in there, so we need to definitely adjust our intake, which makes sense due to the fact of the ticking I heard. You see how freely I can slide that in there back and forth? So we definitely need to adjust it. And we'll go ahead and we'll adjust it back here to the 0.64. So in order to adjust it, we need a wrench. We need to take this nut here loose, and then we'll turn this little square end that you can see here, which is our rocker peg, or rocker arm stud, I guess. I'm not sure the technical name of that, but we will adjust that to fit this. Let's see, let me guess, a 10. It is a 10. So we'll go ahead, loosen this guy up maybe. Alright, so there's that. It's adjusted, and I'm just going to take a pair of needle nose to get in here on this guy. So we'll insert our feeler gauge. We're going to adjust this stud down so that there's some good resistance on our feeler gauge, but we can still slide it out. Now see, it's not wanting to slide out, so I went a little too far. So let's back that off a little bit. There. I can get that in there now. Pretty good. Like so. You guys see how that's working? Probably not too well because the camera is getting blocked by my own hand. And it's not very bright. I'll try to brighten this up in post. Now we're going to hold on to this stud and retighten that bolt to try to keep that stud, the rocker arm stud, from turning with it. And then once she's snugged, we'll go ahead and check this one more time, which you guys can see we're in there. So now we'll go again to the other end of our spectrum, and if this doesn't go in, we're good. And it doesn't go in. So we'll call intake good. Alright, we're going to do the exhaust here the same way. It's a little trickier to get at though because it's on the front. I gotta kind of get in here. Now the book calls for point, what is it, 0.16 to 0.20. I have a 0.178 we'll adjust it to, and then check it with a 0.203 because that's what I have with my feeler gauge. So let's do the 0.178 first, if we can weasel our way in here. Oh boy. She goes in easy. That's going to be a little loose. That one definitely needs adjusted too. Let's see if we can get our 0.203 in there, then we know we're too big. Oh my, yeah, fits right in there. So definitely need to adjust the exhaust as well. So let's get my wrench in here as best I can. See if I can bend my knuckles. There we go. That is loose, I think. There we go. Needle nose are right here. Ooh, these are going to be tricky to get in there. Just by hand here what I can. There we go, baby. That goes in. Now let's check with the next size. I should not be able to get it in there. I can't quite. There's borderline. See if I can go ahead and tighten this down without it getting too tight. Alright, so what do we got here? 7:30 seconds. That's too big. 5:30 seconds. Oh, that's the money maker. So that little stud's 5:30 seconds. Now, what do I do with my wrench? Do you see my wrench?
No.
The one I just had? Is that it? Is that a 10? No, wait, here it is. I got it. Alright, so once again, let's get this guy in there. Give this a little turn. Drop. Snap her down. Still got that. And where's my other one? Alright, we're good. Alright guys, we're going to go for a quick little ride here. I'm probably actually going to coast her down to the bottom of though, because my wife is putting our littlest to nap, and her bedroom is just right up there, and this guy has a muffler gutted, so it's a little loud. So to be quiet, we're gonna just coast her down the hill, and we'll start her once we get on down off away from the house. It's like an electric four-wheeler. It's super quiet. And it's a muddy mess. Alright, here we go. Have to give her a little choke. Get her warmed up. Smoking a little. I think I'm definitely going to have to get the rings replaced on this guy here. Come nicer riding weather. Through the water, I'm going to get wet. Oh, we just do her a little short. safety switch is going bad. She starts to die there every once in a while when I hit a rough bump, so I get on the clutch. I noticed that time or two before as well. She still needs a bit of work. And I know there's people out there that hate working on machines. They buy new, so they never have to work on them. Looks like my Polaris. But there is some enjoyment in buying old, broken down machines like this, and then if you have the funds, you have the time, you have the know-how, getting it to run, and then being able to enjoy it after you put some blood, sweat, hopefully not many tears into it. It's an enjoyable experience, and part of the reason why I like doing this. Definitely need to do some shock work on this if I want to put some money in this, more money into this. I do prefer, and I think I said this before, 4 utility 4x4 quads and these sport quads. So I'm still debating whether or not I want to sell this guy and save up and get another, there's that neutral switch again, get another utility 4x4 quad or not. I don't know. What's up, you guys? To me, you can have more fun on a 4x4 quad because you can take them more places. And I know some of you will probably argue that statement, but you know my videos, I like to play in the muddy areas. That's a lot of work to do on a sport quad. You end up doing a lot of hand maneuvering.
I got her, Jason. Don't get all muddy. Oh, that one. Uh-oh, I sank like another foot. Alright.
Yeah, you might be able to get out just starting it now.
You're light, you'll float in the water.
It's not really all that deep.
Yeah.
Once he digs through it, he does pretty well.
So guys, let me know in the comment below if come next year what you think. Should we sell the Warrior 350, get either a 4x4 quad or maybe put it towards another side-by-side? You guys make sure and let me know in the comments below, and that'll give me something to think about. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you found the valve adjustment procedure helpful. Again, that is the same no matter what machine you have. The trickiest part and the only part that's different between machines is getting to the valves and where and of course the actual clearances, which again, if you don't have a service manual, quick Google search online, you'll be able to bring up what those are. So don't forget to like, subscribe before you leave. If you have time, check my links in my description below to head over to my Facebook page, follow me there, as well as my Instagram. And again, I don't know when I'm going to get this edited and uploaded, but today is Christmas Eve, so I'll go ahead and wish you a Merry Christmas. And until next time, have fun, be safe, and keep on riding.